And so the tears begin. That beautiful Gershwin song, Our Love Is Here to Stay, is for my husband, Irving Abella, Itchy. You can't see him, but he's right here beside me, where he's been every step of this walk. This night and everything else in my life is because of Itchy and my family. For our sons, Jacob and Zachary, for their wives, Marnie and Susanna, and for their children, Felix and Maisie. So it's their star too, and our whole family is honored to be on the Walk of Fame with the magnificent class of 2023. And so to all the other recipients who walked to their own star, warmest congratulations, or as we say on the Supreme Court of Canada, mazel tov. My own walk started in a displaced persons camp in Stuttgart, Germany. My parents, who got married in Poland on September the 3rd, 1939, spent most of the war in concentration camps. Their 2.5-year-old son and my father's whole family were killed at Treblinka. They went to Germany after the war, where my father, who was a lawyer, taught himself English and was hired by the Americans to help set up a system of legal services for displaced persons. In an act of what seems to me to be breathtaking optimism, my parents decided to have more children. I was born on July the 1st, 1946, and my sister was born 2 years later. After a few years of trying, we were finally allowed to get into Canada and arrived at Pier 21 in May 1950. When we arrived, my father was told by the Law Society that he wasn't allowed to practice law because he wasn't a citizen. That was the moment I decided to become a lawyer. I was 4 years old. I had no idea what it meant, but if he wasn't going to be able to do what he should be able to do, then I was going to do it. My father never complained about not being able to practice his profession or about what happened during the war, and neither did my mother. They were just grateful to be in Canada and to have the chance to raise their 2 daughters in a wonderful, safe country that believed in the potential of its people. And how right they were. 5 decades after we arrived, Canada transformed their daughter from a refugee in a displaced persons camp into a judge on the Supreme Court of Canada. You cannot be born in the shadow of the Holocaust to 2 Jews who survived it without an exaggerated and fearless commitment to the pursuit of fairness and justice. And you cannot live a life without hope when the very fact of your birth reflects a tenacious belief that the world would turn fairer. But I worry that the ideals of fairness and justice that guided me all my life are under siege and suffering from a crisis of legitimacy. It's worth remembering that 75 years ago, shortly after I was born, a magnificent consensus resulted in the phoenixes that rose from the ashes of Auschwitz, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the Genocide Convention. There were to be no more killings or human rights abuses. Those incredible documents were our generation's acknowledgement that what happened to Jews in World War II would never happen again to anyone. So we set out to eradicate anti-Semitism, racism, homophobia, sexism, Islamophobia, and intolerance generally. That was our designated trajectory, and it was the inspiration for the world's conscience. But right now, We seem to be trapped in a rhetorically tempestuous climate, polluted by obtuse shibboleths, a climate where history is irrelevant, people and ideas are canceled, respect is invisible, truth is homeless, and unjustifiable conduct is justified. Nothing justifies rape, or beheading, or hostage-taking, or anti-Semitism, or any kind of hate. It's time to stop yelling and start listening to each other, to reclaim ownership of the compassion and liberal democratic values we fought World War II to protect, and to put respect and humanity back in charge by replacing global hate with global hope. My life started in a country where there had been no democracy, no rights, and no justice. No one with this history does not feel lucky to be alive and free. And no one with this history does not feel that we have a duty to promise our children that we will do everything possible to keep the world safer for them than it was for their grandparents. A world where all children, regardless of race, color, religion, or gender, can wear their identities with dignity, with pride, and in peace. I am very proud to be inducted into the Walk of Fame, but I'll never forget where and how my walk started. Thank you, Jeff Latimer and the Walk of Fame team, and above all, thank you, Canada. I am so proud to be a Canadian.